What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Airborne in the house, dropping you guys latest and greatest cryptocurrency news and updates. I'm excited. It's Friday. We got another live stream tonight, a hangout. We used to call it a VGX Heroes hangout back in the day, but you can't dwell on the past. We're moving on. We got a new bull run coming up. We got a great show tonight. We got some new faces coming on tonight. We have some OGs in the house. I sent about 20 invites out to a bunch of people. So if you guys who are in the backstage right now, if you want to send those invites out to anyone, I don't even care. It's all about having fun and talking about crypto or whatever else pops up. Sometimes these streams used to go 2, 3, 4 hours into the night back during the bull run VGX Heroes days. So who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to try to stick this to 1 hour, and the people backstage, if you guys got to go, you got to do whatever, feel free just to let us know. You guys can pop off and do whatever you want to do, but got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, Bitcoin related news, ICP, maybe Multiverse X, just crypto news in general. So should be a good show tonight. If you guys don't mind, smash that thumbs up button on your way in. Would truly do appreciate it. Easiest thing you guys can do to help support the channel. I'm going to do a quick market overview just to see where we're at right now. And then maybe in about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to bring in some of the people backstage and we'll go from there. So really do appreciate it. Let's see who we got here. We got Obi. If it's working, let me see if it's working. There we go. Can you guys hear me okay? Just want to make sure everything's good. And we got UT and we got some lurkers here, but let me just move this over and we will get into it right now. Alrighty. Let's full screen layout this. So market today, it is a holiday weekend, so there's probably not going to be much volume going on, but crypto, Bitcoin down about 0.24% the last 24 hours. Nothing too crazy. Bitcoin, I think, just made a measure move small to the downside, 1%. It was about 44,000 a couple hours ago. Now we're about 43,624. We got ETH down, or actually ETH is up still 2.42%, 2,288. We got, what else? Everything else seems to be down, but ETH right now, at least in the top 10, top 20 right now. So gainers last 24 hours. Holy cow. I just made a video earlier. This was up 100%. Now it's up 286%. Yeah, I just put out a static video literally 2 hours ago. Whatever the heck this is, it's some ETH. Hold on a second. I've never heard of this, but it's Index, an Ethereum token that governs Index Cooperative. It lets people create, protocol for creating custom crypto indexes, structured products. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but literally when I made the video earlier, it pumped up to 100%, 100 some percent. Now, not much, maybe an hour and a half later or so, it's up, 286%? That's insane. Boba Network, another one I don't know. I think that just recently pumped too, up 103%. And Optimism, heard of that one. That's from the last bull run. I forget what Optimism is. What is that? Smart contract platform. Okay, another, I don't know, that layer 2 on Ethereum or something, I think. There you guys have it for top gainers, losers. Not really going to go. Bunch of S coins, altcoins I've never heard of down the last 24 hours. Today is December 22nd. A couple more days till Christmas, till 2024. This is absolutely insane. I feel like 2023 has flown by, but I am excited definitely for the new year and the Bitcoin bull run. Hopefully, obviously, we're going to be having here the next year. I mean, hey, it might take 8-9 months, but we got these Bitcoin spot ETFs being approved potentially by January 10th, which I did talk about in an earlier video. We're going to talk about that here later. So who knows what's going to happen? Absolutely crazy. Holidays, birthdays, nobody cares about anyone's birthday unless it's your birthday, you guys watching. But holidays today: National Cookie Exchange Day, National Short Person Day. That's crazy that they actually have a day for short people. What else do we have here? Mathematics Day. This is playing music. Let me turn that off. There we go. National Date Nut Bread Day. So you guys have it for holidays. Crypto bubbles, like I said, it's been pretty neutral for today. Nothing too crazy. My favorites looks like a little bit more red than green. Cardano down about 5.8%. ICP down about 3.1%. Wow. just hit under 9 or a little bit earlier. I think it was like $9.40. So I did a little bit of technical analysis on this. I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of did a little cool off down to about $7.50, $8. Did have that nice little run up to, I think, $10.89, $11 earlier this week. Fear and greed index went down about 4 points from yesterday, currently looking at a 70. Traditional markets, S&P closed the longest weekly win streak since 2017, which is pretty crazy. But other than that, NASDAQ closed green for the day. Dow Jones closed down about 18 points. All right, there it is for your quick crypto market overview. All right, so let's let me move this over here. Hopefully you guys are having a good night tonight. I mean, it is a holiday weekend, so if you guys are tuning in, I truly do appreciate it. Either you're bored or your family's asleep like mine is right now. The kids and the wife are asleep right now, and now is usually my time just to hang out with my crypto people. But I'm just having a little vodka water with some flavoring for the night. Try to watch those calories, but, it's not bad. All right, so let's bring a usual face. I almost want to say he's my co-host. He's coming on, or usual face to the channel. We got Obiwan. What's going on, man?
Okay, it said mute. So, is it working?
Yep. How's it going, man?
Awesome. Hey, it's going good. Family's watching a movie in the other room. I can't stand like those Netflix and Hallmark Christmas movies. So I was like, I'll make you popcorn and cocoa and I'll go hang out. So
nice. I know there's a lot of the every year they have those different holiday or Christmas shows. The one that sticks out to me, my dad always watched it, was it Christmas with the Duke? Was it John Wayne or all the Clint Eastwood movies and stuff? Usually I think they play it on what's the old TMT Turner Classic Movies?
Yeah,
is that what it
Turner
is?
Classic TCM.
Yeah. So I know he always watches that, but yeah, I don't know. I just never was really into that stuff, but yeah, all those going on.
I watched White Christmas last year for the first time. We usually watch, my wife really likes The Holiday and like Love Actually, so we usually watch those, and the standards like National Lampoon and Elf and Christmas Story and stuff like that. So
yeah, awesome. Well, glad you are here. The next person coming to the stage is, I've been talking to him for quite a while now, and I've been wanting him to come on, and I've been watching his content. He has a lot of good stuff with internet computer, ICP. Coming to the stage, we got Jeff, aka Bitcoin Renegade.
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. How you doing this weekend? Well, coming weekend.
It's been crazy. This last month has just been like kind of like a blur. Everything kind of happened so fast. Like the internet computer got so much FUD, and I make content for Definity for a grant. So basically, like I survived the whole bear market to get to where we're at now, because ICP just kind of dumped. And so basically the last month has just been like bliss and just like, like the I told you so moment of my career, in YouTube. So
yeah, I know you've been making content all through the bear market. You really truly like the altcoin, internet computer. It's just been pretty much going downwards ever since the perpetual futures with SBF and FTX and all that. We all know what happened with that, which is crazy, but glad you could come on the show tonight.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And next, he's not on video. He likes to not dox himself, which is all good, but I have not spoken to him in probably over a year. Former, well, I don't even know what you call us nowadays. VGX heroes, former VGX heroes, Voyager community. In audio, we got UT SnakeEyes. You there?
Hello. It's good to hear and see everyone here. I'm lagging a little bit, so I apologize in advance. But no, it's great to see you. Let's just say we're all friends now. We don't have to say VGX heroes anymore. Just say we're friends.
Exactly. How's it going, man? How have you been the past year? What have you been up to?
It's sorry, I'm probably lagging, but after the whole debacle of the crypto crash, focus on passions, focus on artwork, and I'm really gung ho about NFTs right now. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on a few projects, NFTs, and being active in those communities. But yeah, that's all I've been there, just NFTs.
Nice. And I know you post, and I've made a couple comments in some of your tweets. I don't know what NFT project you're in and what blockchain it is. I haven't really like looked into it, but it seems like you're doing pretty well on whatever. Like, are they Disney or Marvel NFTs? Like, but they're like legit officially from Disney or Marvel. What can you talk about that maybe for like a second? I'm curious because I know you were posting a lot of stuff about that.
Yeah, no. If you heard of VeVe, VeVe is an NFT platform. They have a complete license with all the major IPs in the world. So Disney, Marvel, DC, it's legit as you come. So Cryptoys, DC, everyone knows DC Comics, right?
Yeah,
Marvel Comics, all that good stuff. So I'm involved in about 3 or 4 NFT projects, and each one of those projects has utilities back with it. You know, just I think past couple weeks I got free comic books, physical comic books for holding the NFTs. I got a skateboard limited edition physical collectible there. So it's starting to evolve from just JPEGs on a wall or on your computer to now like physical items that you own. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and that's definitely one thing I think the next bull run that if the NFT craze ever comes back again is not just JPEGs, not just artwork, is the actual utility that's going to come with these NFTs. Like you said, the skateboards, you know, special access to whatever creator or movie tickets or music tickets, whatever the heck it is for holding the specific NFT for whatever project or person or whoever. I think that's going to be huge for the NFT space, at least in the next bull run and the future of NFTs.
Yeah, and an exciting part of that is recently, I think it's like 3 or 6 months ago, Disney put out a patent trying to, you know, it was like an NFT. If you visit Disney amusement parks, you take a picture, AR, crypto world, NFT world with their parks as well. So, I mean, if Disney's putting out patents with NFTs, you know it's real. You know, a lot of big companies are starting to hop on it now.
And you said it's VeVe is the platform?
Yes, VeVe, VeVe. Yep.
Is that the blockchain that they're using, or what is the NFT? Like, what chain is it on, or what?
They are on Omni blockchain.
Omni?
But
it's Ecomi, right?
Platform. So it's Omni. Ecomi.
Is it OMI Ecomi?
I've heard.
Yeah, that Andre Zick bought into that during the last bull run, and he got wrecked on it. And they're now spinning up a separate token on that other protocol. It's tokens on top of tokens.
Interesting. Well, UT, glad you could be here. I mean, if you got to go or you just want to lurk and then chime in whenever, feel free to. But I got a couple news stories I would love to hear your guys' opinions on, just crypto related. Let me pull up my screen real quick. This kind of is crypto related, not really. And I just saw this recently before we went live, and someone tagged IOHK Charles Hoskinson, obviously creator of Cardano. And apparently some teenager hacked Nvidia. He got arrested. He was released on bail under a police supervision. The police confiscated his laptop. Then they put him in a motel room, which sounds kind of weird. But then when he was in the hotel room, he used his Amazon Fire Stick, which was connected to his motel room TV, to hack Rockstar and then steal Grand Theft Auto 6 clips. Have you guys heard that? Like, that is insane. That's
talented. I saw that article too. I thought it was pretty cool. But
so then this guy tagged him, and then all of a sudden Charles Hoskinson quote retweeted. He's like, "Are we hiring this kid or what?" So I thought that was kind of cool.
I mean, man, why lock him up? You should give that kid a job, man. Come on.
Yeah. Whoever the heck he is. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. The other thing real quick, MexC. So the MexC Exchange, I don't think you can use this exchange United States. I think it's just, I don't know where MexC is based out of. I mean, you can get it if you have VPN apparently, but you should probably take your crypto off this exchange right now. And there's a couple tweets I have, and apparently it sounds like they're doing some shady stuff. This guy's saying remove all assets. They trade against their users, and in a bull market, it means they could floop. They simply steal your money if you are too profitable. They took $92,000 from this guy. This person said apparently the CEO of MexC deleted his Twitter or X account 3 weeks ago. It was still active before that. He's been keeping tabs, simply haven't been reported. So apparently his tag was at MexC_global. So he deleted his MexC about 3 weeks ago. This person said that there's rumors flying around regarding suspicious activity of MexC, including freezing assets of users without any reason. The rumors also state the exchange might become insolvent within the next 10 days. These people obviously don't want to have panic, but they are going to be withdrawing their funds from MexC. And then this guy saying not only that it was him, there's also other people you guys can see here. Exact same thing happened where for whatever reason, and then they just said it was, due to their disclosure agreement or something, that if they see suspicious activity, that's what happens. But have you guys heard that? Pretty big deal, because I always know MexC is a big volume in a lot of the exchanges for a lot of these crypto that we trade.
So word to anybody that's brave enough to dabble in shitcoins, don't use offshore exchanges, like period. They're probably the majority of the offshore exchanges are actually insolvent. So I wouldn't recommend anybody go and use those. They've been able to mask over because they're relatively low volume, but they'll list anything that, quote unquote project that just drops some coins, they're going to list it, and they're just going to go acquire liquidity from other exchanges to fill withdrawal orders. But I would say the overwhelming majority of the exchanges that are out there they're insolvent. So I think the only ones that have decent track records are pretty much the US ones in terms of not getting hacked or having insolvency issues. So if its name isn't Coinbase or Kraken or a Bitcoin only exchange, don't even mess with it. That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, definitely. So I
stuff
figured
like this will happen.
Yeah. And who knows what would happen during the bull run? Like I thought I had the tweet up here, but someone said something about that. Like imagine they're having these issues now. Imagine the bull run when volume starts to pick up, what they could do. So again, they just don't.
They're going to get shut down so fast. I mean, Binance has already been infiltrated by who was it? It was the Treasury, right? DOJ, and they still have active lawsuits with the SEC ongoing, which could even take down Binance. So even Binance is sus. So I wouldn't. Yeah. If you're messing around with altcoins, and especially if you're offshore exchange illegally, or even if it's legal in your country, heavy warning on exchanges.
Yeah, definitely. That's why the only thing I use now when I buy is Coinbase, and then I immediately move it off, basically. And then crypto.com for a couple other ones that aren't on Coinbase, I'll buy on there. But other than that, I don't use anything else.
Yeah, exchanges are.
Go ahead.
Well, exchanges are. Think of an exchange this way: if you go to the airport, you're going to travel internationally. There's a money changer. There's an exchange, and they're trading dollars for pesos or for euros or for whatever. So when you go to an exchange, all that you're doing is trading one currency for another, and you're getting the heck out of there, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing should happen with any of these exchanges online. Your money's settled, it clears, get your funds off it as soon as possible. Because even as a lot of us painfully learned, going through first cycles and whatnot last time, you absolutely could even get clawback effects if the exchange goes down within 90 days of your last withdrawal. They file bankruptcy in the United States, they could even try to claw back your withdrawal, which is insane, but it could happen. So it's risk on top of risk on top of risk. It's just, I would highly discourage it.
Yeah, and I used to use MexC Exchange a lot for different things. I never leave money on there. Like I do a trade and then get out. But this is disheartening to me because this is one of the exchanges that I really used a lot. So this kind of sucks, and this is why it's important not to hold any of your crypto on exchange like you guys were saying. Just buy it, get it off of there real quick. And I wouldn't even use this one right now. Like if there's anything sketchy like that they're talking about, I would just steer clear. There's no point to risk your hard-earned money in crypto, on some BS, whatever they got going on here. It just pisses me off, honestly.
Yeah, and I know Six Figs went live tonight, and he was saying how he likes using MexC, and I made a comment as a moderator in his chat saying, "Hey, did you hear about all the MexC stuff going on?" And he's like, yeah, I kind of did. And then I messaged him privately and I sent him all these tweets and he's like, oh man, he's like, you're right, man. And he's like, I better get my stuff off of here. Cause I think he likes to trade on there. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, thanks for letting me know. So yeah, I thought it was pretty crazy. All right. Enough about MexC. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Cause that's all we care about, right? Bitcoin.
Bitcoin renegade, baby.
Yep. Our OG, that's what originally got me into crypto. Well, crypto doesn't equal Bitcoin. You know how you guys know what I mean. But I got one thing, and I want to hear what you guys Okay. So we're coming into the holidays. You're gonna see a lot of your family, friends. You may or may not. But if someone were to come up to you, or your family or friends come up to you, and they tell you to describe Bitcoin in 5 words or less, how would you describe it?
A new world currency changes everything. New world currency changes everything.
New world currency changes everything. Okay, that's good. What about you, Obi? I'm curious. Before I go to this tweet that someone posted, there were some good ones.
There were so many good responses to that tweet that are going to be better than anything I say, but unconfiscatable money for the internet age. That might be 6 words or whatnot, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, River posted this. How would you describe Bitcoin to someone in 5 words or less? Getting ready for all your Christmas parties this weekend. Money that cannot be stolen. Money as money was intended. Separation of money and government. I like that one. Money that you actually own. Accessible, absolutely scarce, incorruptible money. Flipping tables of money changers. Yeah, there were some good ones here. Deflationary savings account. Let me refresh it because I thought there was a couple other ones. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. What about you guys in the comments? Do you guys have how would you guys describe Bitcoin in 5 words or less? Let me know.
I mean, choose money that doesn't steal from you. That's just an easy tagline.
Yeah.
I mean, finite, immutable, auditable money.
Right.
So.
All right. So moving on real quick. This is the big news. We've all heard about it. We're all waiting for it. But the SEC approving the spot Bitcoin ETFs apparently is going to just explode the market. People are saying this is going to be the biggest financial shift everyone's talked about in the last 45 years or so. But apparently, and this is according to Fox Business, and I don't know if you guys know the exact sources, but they've given guidance that the Bitcoin ETF will be approved by January 10th. It said that the Bitcoin ETF, which one? Is it the BlackRock? Is it the Fidelity? Is it all of them? We've heard all at one time. Who knows? Apparently yesterday, BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, ARK, Valkyrie, they all met with the SEC to talk about that on the 21st. And then this came out a little bit earlier today. This is kind of a joke, to be honest with you. BlackRock is planning to seed its spot Bitcoin ETF for $10 million on January 3rd. $10 million. That's nothing. You guys are going through the comments here. I was saying before this post gets rolling with comments, that's like 5 cents for them. 10 million, too little. That's nothing. So I don't know why they made this such a big deal, but a 10 million for their spot Bitcoin ETF, like that's it. Does that sound normal to you, Obi? Or why was it such a little amount?
It's just having cash ready for redemptions. It's having a buffer. You know, you have to kind of take things in context. There's a lot of people that are within, you know, the Bitcoin community and, you know, crypto at large that, you know, are riding the coattails of Bitcoin that are excited for these ETFs, right? Because that gives more mainstream adoption in terms of, you know, spot instead of futures manipulation, but actually having the underlying asset in these trusts. But you have to remember, in context of things, we're still like at 1% global adoption. Like the overwhelming majority of people don't know about it, don't care about it. You know, aren't the advertising of these big firms yet to kind of get an idea of how much capital they would want to potentially put into it. So I think that there'll be some reaction for the people that know about it, that are waiting for an investment vehicle like this, and you'll have some short-term, you know, growth, some trading action, because it'll be a popular trade because it's postured in the news. But then I think it'll kind of be a slow and steady climb over the next 3 years as more and more people kind of see, well, if I just had a little bit of Bitcoin in my portfolio, I'd way outperform, you know, traditional asset allocations. And that message from all these firms like BlackRock and, you know, Van Eck and Bitwise, they're going to get, you know, Fidelity, they're going to get the word out. They're going to advertise. And through that advertising and these legacy names being, you know, trusted brands, over time, it's going to lead to more money coming in. But I think it'll be a little bit more gradual than some of the people are hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. And then I like this tweet, basically the Bitcoin marketing team, all the people that are applying for this spot Bitcoin ETF. And have you seen a couple of the commercials I think they put out? There was the one famous one with that guy from the Heineken commercial. I don't
Most
remember.
interesting man in the world.
Yeah,
I
that
saw
guy.
that the other day.
What?
Funny.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, my friends? Bitcoin. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they had that one, and then there was another one from, is it Bitwise?
I think it's
Or
Bitwise. Yeah,
It was
Bitwise.
Bitwise.
Yeah. So yeah, they have that coming. Man, like,
There's going to be.
Like, I wonder if they already have a bunch
Grayscale's
of them
already advertising at airports.
Yeah. So yeah, you got all that coming. Like, it's just, man, I don't know. It's either going to be a big nothing burger and the price isn't really going to do much, or it's just going to blow everyone away to the point where we're just like, holy cow, this was a lot bigger than what we actually thought, type of thing.
Oh, it's going to be massive once it's approved, and the speculation on the miners and money flow from the people that actually know, that are already in Bitcoin or already have invested in this in past cycles. Now that there's something to trade that's an ETF ticker in certain investment vehicles that wasn't accessible before, there'll be some volatility in trading early, but I think it'll quiet down, because it really takes the big money, and these are all cash settled funds, and it's going to take a little while for that, again, that marketing message and that proof of performance to get some of these bigger dollars thrown in here. And because they want to see a chart of these ETFs, right? They want to see a chart over several months, maybe even a year. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's proving out our theory. Now we'll go heavy. And then you have the FASB. So, you know, the Fair Accounting Standards Board, the GAAP accounting at the end of next year. It's going to be really the green light. I think 2025 is actually the year that a lot of folks are hoping and waiting for. Not to say 24 will be bad, but 25 will be the real fireworks year.
Gotcha. This kind of leads me into the next tweet with what we're talking about is financial advisors. So this guy proposed, hey, financial advisors, if all things are equal and one of your clients wants some exposure to a Bitcoin spot ETF, which one are you choosing and why? BlackRock ETF or Fidelity ETF? And I know, Obi, you could probably expand a little bit more in details about that. But just in general, once the SEC approves these spot Bitcoin ETFs, that's going to give a lot of the retail, a lot of these financial advisors the go-ahead to, hey, in your portfolio, if you want to be a little bit more high risk, you want to put a little bit more of your funds into a high risk asset, which could have higher returns, you know, there's Bitcoin. We have these Bitcoin spot ETFs and BlackRock, Fidelity. Would you like that? That's just going to open up, the floodgates, I think, to a lot of these retail investors and probably a lot of these financial advisors. And when I was down in Florida a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I went out to this, it was a Celsius meetup. It was crazy, but there was this was in Sarasota. Oh man, I wonder where they're at today. They were all wearing Celsius shirts. This was like when Voyager was big and whatever. But one of the guys there that I met, he was a financial advisor. And I was like, dude, how are you here with crypto and you're a financial advisor? He's like, yep, I can't talk about crypto at all with any of the people. He's like, I can only say so much, but he's can't recommend it type of thing. It was kind of crazy to meet a financial advisor who was heavily into crypto, but then he can't really talk about it with his clients or whatever. But I thought this was real. This is another thing that people really don't think about. Well, some people do, but or the financial advisor aspect of it and how this spot Bitcoin ETF, once it gets approved, will open up even more for just the retail investor.
It's going to be cutthroat because there's 12 or 13 of them. And they're all going to be, capital tends to concentrate. And so usually you only have 2 or 3 ETFs that really matter. What's up, Floki? Nice to see
Floki
you.
in the house. Looks like we lost Jeff. Well, it's okay.
Yeah, but I think what's going to be really cool about watching these spot ETFs is the companies that are going to be transparent about how much Bitcoin is in their trust on a daily basis, because Bitcoin we don't really have in traditional finance an asset that you can actually audit and verify in real time. But if they allow their wallet addresses to be known, this is one of those things where you can actually see close of every day. How many Bitcoin does Valkyrie have? How much Bitcoin does Franklin Templeton or Fidelity? How much do they have? And will the companies be transparent about it? I think that the ones that are transparent about it, or that eventually work towards in-kind redemptions, are the ones that are going to have the advantage from the Bitcoin folks. And the ones that have the lowest management fees will get the boomer capital allocation that's just interested in the dollar go up. But I think
if they're publicly traded, don't they have to disclose their amount of Bitcoin and everything, I'm assuming? No.
It's all cash settled. So, usually they'd have to disclose quarterly, but they don't have to disclose daily. And I think the ones that have the transparency about how much they're managing, to add to the trust every day is going to be key, right? It's all cash redemptions too. So if people, they're in there for the, $10,000 candle and they start taking profits, right? Then they have to start eliminating shares and redeeming in cash, just like any ETF on the market, right? Grayscale and all of them, they wanted it, even BlackRock wanted to do a hybrid where people could take their shares of the ETF and actually exchange for the underlying Bitcoin. But the SEC shot it down and said cash redemptions only. That was the compromise that they just agreed to. So it's really just kind of a layer 3 exposure to the volatility of the fiat valuation of Bitcoin. You're not actually getting the underlying Bitcoin. You're not hodling spots. So still the best path to do Bitcoin is to buy it from a Bitcoin only company, put it in self-custody, preferably on your own node. If that's too much for you and you're just looking at, a hedge to kind of, be there for credit default swaps or hedging against the government, then the ETF might be a play if that's the only option you have. But it's not the ideal, core Bitcoin ethos. It's kind of a Wall Street version of volatility capture.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have anyone backstage? No, we don't. If anyone wants to join,
in which, yeah, I'd also say if you want levered exposure to Bitcoin, just get MicroStrategy, MSTR.
Yeah,
because they're buying Bitcoin with access to the capital markets and paying off the debt through their company. They can get low interest debt. They can issue shares. The Bitcoin per share of MicroStrategy continues to go up. They continue to hodl, more than any other public company that's not a miner. Actually, even I think they have a bigger hodl bag than the miners. So if you want like that levered exposure to Bitcoin, you get the benefit of a software company on top of the Bitcoin treasury, and they can service the debt through the software funds. It's like a 2.0 book value valuation, if you strip out the Bitcoin, about 18 to 20% of the share price is the software business. And you'll hear FUD on Twitter about, oh, there's a premium on MicroStrategy and people don't understand what's going on. It's like, it's not a premium. That's the actual software business. If you're only thinking about the Bitcoin holdings, you're forgetting about the whole rest, the other side of the business. And I think you'll see that on social media because it's a heavily shorted stock too. So people are just basically trying to pump their shorts.
Yeah. It looks like we have someone backstage who hasn't been on in a year and a half. Floki. What's up?
Are we live?
Yeah.
What's up, Airborne? So good to hear you, see you, Obi, same. It's been a while.
What is going on?
It's great to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Oh man. Just been busy working, heads down. A lot has happened. I want to share more. I got a couple minutes here before dinner, so I just wanted to stop by and hang out for a bit. I'm outside here with Chili. It's a nice chill evening.
Yeah, I saw you post that tweet the other day, and that was like, what? That was your first tweet, or you call it X, and how long?
Gosh. I've been posting random music stuff out there just to let people know I'm alive, but nothing really with any context. This is the first one in a while. It was tough for me, man.
Yeah.
With everything that happened, I'm not going to get into it too much, but this is the new project. I wanted to hint at it. It's not quite ready to share yet, but I could say that it's related to stocks. It has nothing to do with like shilling. It's more just something I want to share with people. I'm doing a historical stock analysis. So that's what I've been working on. I'm a data scientist. So I'm trying to apply some of the things that I do in the day to day. And, we got a lot of losses to make up for.
Yeah.
Right. Got to do it somehow.
Right. Wow, that's crazy, man. I'm definitely interested in hearing more whenever you're ready to share it or whenever you want to come back on. But yeah, it's been crazy. I tried to reach out to Airborne, Maximus. I know Airborne was a little bit busy, and then Maximus, I think he made a tweet the other day too, saying that he's awesome. Doing well and everything, which is good.
Definitely been thinking about everyone in the whole community. Not a day goes by where I don't think about that stuff. But it's still, you get caught up in it. And I'm trying to slowly be healthy about coming back. But yeah, I just want to contribute again and give back to such an awesome group of people. It's so cool seeing you guys here the whole time. You guys haven't skipped a beat.
Yeah, I tried bear market. I made videos every once in a while, but now I'm, bull market's coming back. I'm getting more motivated. So I'm going to try to do this every Friday night at 9:30 Eastern time. So I'm trying to get people to come on, man. This is like episode 3, episode 4 that I've started doing this. Last week, if you guys tuned in, the person on had some medical issues. So I just had to scratch the video or whatever, but I'm not gonna talk about that. But no, I plan on, doing this every Friday. I know it is a holiday weekend, so everyone's busy and whatnot, but I want to get, the OG people, some people from our community just back on to reconnect and see how everyone's doing now. I mean, I know it's been a while since then. I'm hoping people, been doing a little bit better since then, now that the market's picking up and whatnot. But yeah, I'm glad you came on here, man.
Yeah, man. With New Year's coming around, one of my resolutions was to get back out there and connect with everybody again. And I'll definitely be stopping in and out to hang out. But as far as like my project goes, let's plan something a little bit more formal where I have something to present and we could go through stuff. I think a lot of people will be interested. And if it could help people recover, then awesome. I got a couple more minutes.
Have you been testing it, Floki?
I have
been testing it.
I mean, in theory, you could just look back in time and see how it looks. I'm going to be testing it this year, essentially, and doing it live. And, by putting it out there, holding myself accountable to actually putting in the work and doing it. January isn't the best month for trading in stocks, but essentially the premise is that I want to trade. And a lot of us got so hurt by, waiting for that year to get that tax break when, well, if we could, smartly trade month to month, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Identify all of those stocks that have great months any time of the year, long-standing businesses, cyclical cycles, and looking for patterns. Essentially, if you asked Floki, like, out of your stock list, what has the best any month of the year, and I could essentially sort that in a list and just pull it up right there and say, like, oh, you have this % chance of it going up, this % up in whatever month, and I could break that down by quarter, by half year. It's been something I've been chipping away at for a long time, actually, even before the Heroes community, and it was something I was planning on sharing and using the Voyager platform to implement once stocks came. But just been trying to hold on, hoping for a second disbursement, and it's just been a year of focus. But with the new year, it's time to start trading again.
Yeah, speaking of which, not to cut you off and change the subject, and I want to talk about this briefly because I know there'll probably be some Voyager people listening in, and well, not Tall Texan Coffee, but go give him a follow and go get his coffee. I thought he was going to come on tonight, but I had everything prepared. But anyway,
I went to his booth last weekend.
I saw that. Yeah, I ordered a couple
in
things.
person,
His
yeah.
stuff's good. Quick plug.
It's really good.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah,
but
it's awesome. And he's cycling through some new beans. He's going to cycle through like a medium, dark, and then a dark roast. He's kind of going to cycle some of those through. Then he's going to have some of the staples continue. But yeah, if you never had real fresh roasted coffee, check out Tall Texan Coffee. You can do an online order. I subscribe, so they drop it off at my doorstep, which is awesome.
Nice. But yeah, I sent an invite out to him. I know he's a busy guy, so we'll try to get him on and he can talk about his coffee business. But yeah, I've ordered a couple before and they're legit good. I had the whiskey barrel aged and the Texas bourbon pecan. Oh, so good. I actually order more. I like the Texas bourbon pecan a little bit better than the whiskey barrel aged. That kind of literally tastes like whiskey coffee. It's crazy, but it's definitely unique.
You had the first barrel, first batch, and it was so strong. Yeah, they're not as strong anymore. It's toned down a little.
Gotcha. But anyway, I'm trying to get him on one of these days. We'll get him on. But going over to Voyager, I know there's people wanting updates with Voyager. Nobody knows what's going on. And I try to scan every single day. There's the Telegram group, the Voyager recovery channel through Ethos. There's random people on there. I go to the the Reddit group. I try to scan there. I go to the Discord group. I go to the Ethos Voyager recovery channel. Like, I go to as much stuff as I can to try to update, but there's not really much. But this came out the other day. Three Arrows Capital court freezed $1 billion of assets of Suzu, Kyle Davies, and Davies' wife, Kelly Chen. And people are asking, what does that mean for Voyager creditors? Are we going to get anything back? I don't know. I honestly don't know. There was some stuff on the Telegram group saying they were like getting really excited. They're like, oh, we're going to get stuff back. We're going to get like 30% and then with the FTX case, we're going to almost get our 70% back. This is great. And then people are like, no, then you get the court fees, the lawyer fees, blah, 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 all this stuff. They're going to milk it to the end. We're not going to see it for 3 to 4 years. If ever, we're not going to get anything back. But from your guys' point of view, or Obi, what do you kind of take from this? Does this mean anything for Voyager creditors real quick, or is this a big nothing burger? I don't know.
I mean, it does if they're successful in liquidating the assets for the price they think they're valued at. because that'll go towards the Chapter 15 creditors, of which Voyager is the second largest. So, we would get a sizable chunk of that in terms of, equitable distribution of the assets. But, timeline of when that happens, and who knows? That stuff tends to take months and years as opposed to days and weeks. So I would be thinking optimistically it'd probably be 2025 for 3 Arrow stuff, and I wouldn't count on it next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't depend on it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the
the FTX one though. I think there's a greater possibility that ongoing mediation, which is happening right now, that there's a better shot and if they decide to not pursue third-party claims, or if they do go after the third-party claims, that also takes some time. But I don't think they have really. I don't think the Paul Haig has a whole lot of appetite for sending, residual checks. I think they want to kind of put together the war chest, find out whatever's left, send one more check, and close it out. Would be kind of the way they're talking, as opposed to doing multiple checks throughout, long periods of time. So I don't know if anyone else has any other opinions or information, but that's what I think, Mr. Fantastic and I and others that have been, checking in on it have gathered from comments that have been made.
I'm just trying not to get too emotionally invested into it, right? It's like, if it happens, great. If not, well, I wasn't expecting it. And if it comes, yeah, like I said, great. But hey, I gotta bounce out of here. Dinner's ready to go. It's been so good hanging for these couple of minutes. I need to make this more routine. I will make this more routine.
You better, man. You better. The door's open for you every Friday night. I'm gonna try to stick to my word. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I mean, even if I don't get anyone to come on, I'll just talk to myself and do a market overview and talk about stuff. But the door is open for anyone watching. For crypto here, whatever you guys. I don't know what you want to
say. Heroes,
ex-heroes, people that want to show projects, or your small business. You want to shoot the shit, talk about whatever. Let's just have fun with this. It's all about our crypto journey and, networking, having friends. Maybe one day we'll all do meetup sometime. I really want to get to Texas here soon. But yeah, thank you for coming on, man.
Peace out, homies. Talk soon.
We'll see you. All right. There you go. Floki, guys. Wow. That's first, man. It's been a long time. I really don't have much.
Shout out Notkin Speckle and Kit.
Oh,
well, Kit and Notkin are in the chat. UT ended up there because of his mic issue, and great to hear from Floki. That was awesome, and SnakeEyes before his audio issue.
Yeah.
What happened to the Renegade fellow?
I don't know. He fell off, and I don't know. He didn't message me or anything.
All right.
But
interesting.
48 minutes.
I don't know. I mean, similar to what Floki was talking about, like for me, it's just, I haven't been doing any altcoins or putting any money, anything other than Bitcoin. But in the retirement portfolio, I've been sticking with what I know, which is, Bitcoin and miners, and that's been doing really well.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for what the ETF has to do there.
Yeah. And it sounds like what Floki's talking about is some type of tool that can, I don't know how to explain. You know what I mean? Like they can sort your best rate of return. Something that reminds me of what the heck is that? Oh man, what's that?
It's a stock screener.
No, yeah, that. But no, who's the guy? Mancini, Nick Mancini.
Trade the chain.
Trade the chain. Yeah, that thing that they had their thing. You paid for it. It would tell you what went up. It kind of reminded me of that. Is what when he was talking. If it's some type of, I don't know. I don't want to.
I think it's more of a dashboard that's scraping performance and putting it into
analyzes the
cyclical analysis and timeframes. But it's kind of funny when you look at the stock market, like the old saying of "sell in May, go away," and the summers are really boring, right? I was trying to back test, what happens if I only bought in August and September and just traded you know, the last 4 months of essentially of the year, you probably do better than dollar cost averaging throughout the year. Just lump sum buy right before back to school, and then just enjoy the rallies through the Santa Claus rally. It's crazy how much of the gains happen in the last 3.5, 4 months of the year.
Yeah. Man, I'm so curious for this first half of the year. What's going to happen? Like, I have a weird gut feeling that it's going to bring back like early 2021 vibes of like GME GameStop. Maybe. I don't know. It's just then people are start coming out of the woodwork, all the normies. It was so funny. Like the 2021, I had so many people reach out to me because I've always was talking about crypto before that bull run. And then people on LinkedIn, hey, I see you're into crypto. Like random people texting me from the army, like just, hey, I heard you're like, it's hilarious. So get prepared for that to happen again. I guarantee that's going to happen once Bitcoin hits what? I think I saw a tweet on this. Like, when do the normies start messaging you out of the woodwork again? Is it when Bitcoin breaks its all-time high? Bitcoin hits 50K? Bitcoin hits 100K? I don't know.
I haven't got a whole lot of text about investing or where to buy. Anyone who has just been stacking throughout the bear market's just been here the whole time anyway.
Yeah, I think
it's
not
a whole lot of like the.
I think it'll be the SEC catalyst. It's got to be that is going to be the next thing. I think that's going to the institutional adoption and the SEC approving it. I think
it's the big money.
Having it's like they tie it's all timing type of thing. And then the having and then
it's all set up. It's all set up. It's all set up for there was the institutions are coming in the last cycle. They never really arrived. It was a whole bunch of leverage and market makers that arrived. It wasn't institutional money. It wasn't corporations putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet outside of MicroStrategy. It wasn't billionaires buying because they were concerned about the macro cycle. That's the kind of stuff I think that does happen over the next 2 years, and a lot of those narratives actually ring true, in the coming years. And after the gold ETF launch, right, it was 8 years of up. Why would you not have that potential here? The halvings will take less effect. 95% of the supply will be out by December 2025. 99% by what, 2030, 2031.
And the supply shock on the exchanges too. So what happens when there's nothing left? Could that happen too?
Yeah, because what happens is, because think if Apple comes and says, hey, we're gonna put a Bitcoin wallet in Apple Pay, or hey, we're gonna buy such and such company. They'll probably build their own, right? And we're gonna start putting Bitcoin on our treasury. If that happened, holy crap! Like, I mean, they'd be buying up whatever the ETFs don't buy, and the companies like MicroStrategy. Then it becomes a scramble. So when that actually happens, when that real event happens, and the exchange supply dries up, you have to get people that are, the price has to appreciate enough to the point where people that have Bitcoin are willing to part with it or spend it into the economy, right? Because people that are true Bitcoiners and aren't just speculators on the fiat valuation of it, they don't want to sell back into fiat. They want to spend sats at their store or their local farmer's market buying the things they want, right? So then it'll be a race at the merchant level. Hey, 20% off if you pay in Bitcoin instead of dollars, 30% off if you pay in Bitcoin instead of dollars. They're going to have to earn people, give them an incentive to spend sats, because that's how you're going to be able to acquire the sats if they're not readily, easy to obtain on an exchange, right? Yeah. So it's the proof of work means more than just a consensus. It actually is a way of life, in an Austrian economics environment where you have sound money, and you have people that are bought into that sound money that want to make a market exchange. That's where you start getting the sats economy coming up, and whether that happens it probably happens more in the 2030s than the 2020s, but I'm excited to see, you know, that evolve over the coming years.
Definitely. And then one thing as you were talking that came into my head, a good question, I think, is so like the last bull run we had all these exchanges come out of the woodwork, the high yield, Celsius, FTX, Voyager. Look what happened to them. This next bull run that we have, what do you think is going to be the trend that we see? Like, are there going to be new exchanges that are going to emerge from the ETF? Like, I'm just thinking, like, what are the next 2-3 years going to be? Like, are all these random new crypto exchanges going to emerge offering high yield?
I don't think so.
I don't think anymore. Or like, what is it going to be? It's just straight institutional retail, Coinbase. That's it, or what? I don't know.
So Coinbase will become primarily a custodian for these ETFs, right? It remains to be seen what kind of laws get passed, and if they're going to allow, you know, there's arguments to be had, I guess, on whether the Ripple case is going to stand or if it's going to be challenged again, or if legislation is passed and how these assets are going to be treated, the non-Bitcoin assets. But if those, you know, don't have a foothold in the United States, they're not going to be. It's all about Bitcoin. They're all riding the coattails of Bitcoin anyway right now, right?
Yeah.
Like there would be no alt market. There
is nothing right now.
No bot trading on that without Bitcoin. So at some point, people will, you know, Bitcoin will just make a run, to which people say, the hell with messing around with these meme tokens and airdroppy L1s that lock up liquidity.
Yeah, like I feel like
there's really, what they are.
Like, I feel like there's really no other secondary right now. Like, you got Solana has a lot of the talk right now, whatever. Some of the, like, OG one, like Cardano is still around, and, like, but then I just don't know. It's like there's nothing. It's just Bitcoin right now, in my opinion. I think that's all everyone's. It's like, then you got the NFTs. NFTs aren't even big right now. There's nothing as big as like it used to be with Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, all that stuff. So NFT space is like nowhere near now. Will that pick up? I don't know, maybe not. And then the meme coins, yeah, you got Bonk from Solana, you like the other like I don't know. They're not even really talking about Doge right now. Doge is like dead. It's only living from Elon, and maybe Elon implementing that with like some type of pay into X. But other than that, like the meme coin phase might not even happen. I mean, I don't know. This might be a different bull run. I don't know.
I think you'll continue to see governments and regulatory agencies continue to crack down on offshore exchanges and alts. And I think that there'll still be speculation, but it'll be kind of going back to our earlier conversation. You start shutting, and basically these offshore casinos could blow themselves up like MexC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you know, Justin Sun is going to get his, right? At some point, Wobi and Tron and all this stuff comes crashing down, just like Binance probably will, right? And at that point, what are you left with? Well, you're left with a huge amount of capital capture of what's left of the, you know, 2 million-ish coins that aren't already being held. Being a lot of that's going to go to the ETFs because that's where the big money's going to be. That's where the corporations are going to be buying in, right? They're going to be buying probably through a cash settled instrument like an ETF, as opposed to going and buying spot through Coinbase through like a really long, you know, process of trying to acquire the spot and then find a custodian, right? So what you'll see probably is more custodial laws around stable coins and Bitcoin banks and that kind of, you know, government regulatory capture, you know, solidify, because big money wants to see the custodian, the insurance, the track record that they're used to. That infrastructure has to be built around those capital flows. And if you don't have that stuff in place, it's not going to flow. And forget about alts, you know, doing that, right? You're going to see states probably push on Bitcoin only and not allow Ethereum else to put it in.
Then you're hearing about the Ethereum ETFs.
I think even New Jersey said, you know, if you look at some of these the things that they're doing, and one of the reasons why they got this switched over to cash only is the SEC's like Bitcoin only. I don't think these Ethereum applications are going to go through. I think they're going to get shut down. So
I haven't done much research
um,
about them, but I remember hearing about that.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I don't think it's going to happen. It doesn't even need to be there. Even Ethereum people are jumping ship to Solana and other places back to Bitcoin. So
Hmm.
I think it's more along the lines of, hey, get the custodians, get the banks being able to lend, because what Michael Saylor says, right? FASB accounting, ETFs, and lending product, but from your local bank. You have those three things in play. He's like, your Bitcoin valuation goes to 5 million quickly. Our ETFs coming in January. FASB accounting's coming the end of 24. Lending, once the custody situation gets sorted out, that'll be next, right?
Hmm.
And then you're out, and then it's really just, that's when you get the quote unquote mass adoption. Once people can easily trade it, they can lend off of it. Banks and institutions that people are comfortable with, that happens, then things get really nuts.
So people still
Yeah,
have
that's
time
the
to
5
stack
million.
sats. Yeah, it's going to take time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's going to
I
take
know
over a
it's
year or
bearish.
so. Or more.
Not Ken, the 5 million. It's like a short-term number, but eventually the dollar number won't matter,
Yeah,
because, like I said, once you're
what's
not
the
able
dollar
to
going to be worth
acquire
in 5,
quite
10 years?
easily. Yeah, so once you're not able to acquire it easily through readily available, exchange supply, because you're gonna have to pay a lot for sats, right?
Yeah.
There'll be the medium of exchange narrative will pick up, where merchants will start trying to take Bitcoin payments.
I think
And
there has to be a big push for that. The actual use case for
Mhm.
Satoshis, like every business, small businesses, you got to start. Hey, we accept Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah. Like if I ever see
Yeah,
any,
and
there was actually one food truck, maybe less this past summer here in Jersey, where they accepted Bitcoin, and I went and I bought like a sausage Italian sandwich or sausage pepper sandwich with it, and he's like, oh, you're like the first person to ever do that. I'm like, yeah, man, and I started talking to him about like Bitcoin and my YouTube channel, but that was the only time I've actually ever used it, surprisingly, as much as
yeah,
I'm into it in real life. But I
yeah.
think that's
I spend sats. Well, I did back to school shopping with Satoshis at Target. I mean, I just replace what I'm going to spend. I spend it, load up a gift card or whatever with sats, and then go buy whatever I want at the store. So things like Strike and Fold and Bitcoin company app make that really easy.
Yeah.
Fold. So I mean, you still have to go through the conversion. Eventually, this thing will get to a point where Lightning is more ubiquitous. There's more liquidity. There's more channels, and then eventually you'll get to no cost layer 3 Fediments and
Mhm.
eCash, where when that becomes like Lightning is today, when that evolves
Mhm.
into what more like what Lightning is today, stable coins won't matter, and dollars won't matter. It'd be quicker and more efficient to just use sats than it will be to use dollars.
Yeah.
But
Did I ever tell you?
that's going to take point of sale, and that's going to take development of applications to improve.
Mhm. Have you heard of Flexa, the Flexa app?
It's garbage.
So basically, you can use Bitcoin, and they have some other cryptocurrencies that you can use, and you send it to that app, and then it essentially creates a QR code that you can use it to go to these certain stores and then use your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever they have to purchase stuff. So I made a TikTok, this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, early on, and I had Bitcoin that I had on there from like 2018 or 2019 that I forgot about. That when the bull run kicked off, it was worth like $200 some, and I needed a new kitchen like sink or faucet at the time. So I was like, oh crap, I got like this. I have Bitcoin in the Flexa app. So what I did was I went to Home Depot and I used the Flexa app with the Bitcoin, and it created like 4 QR codes in $50 increments to pay for my kitchen faucet. And the people were like, what? I said, I'm going to pay in with Bitcoin. They're like, I don't think we can do this. I said, yeah, just scan this as like it's a gift card. And they're like, okay. But then the guy's like, well, let me get my manager. And the manager came over, I explained to it. And then he did it. And he's like, well, it went through. It worked. So then I did like 4 QR codes. It was like a $200 faucet. And then I was like, yep, I just spent Bitcoin, bought my kitchen faucet that I have upstairs still to this day. And I think I made a TikTok on it. This was like in 2021. But yeah, it's called Flexa. FLEX.
So Flexa's just Flex is something that they tried to do that is like no, it's even been hit with securities.
Yeah, I don't know the back end how that works with taxes and stuff. It was weird, but I only used it that one time.
The thing is completely unnecessary because like with Strike, you can send dollars, you can send fiat through the Bitcoin network. You don't have to have stable coins. You don't have to deal with intermediaries and custodians and shitcoin networks with more complication.
Actually, right? It's called Speden now. SPE. Then I only have 67 cents in Bitcoin left. But if you go to my history,
but you know what I'm talking about. Like if you open up Strike,
you can send. Actually, with Lowe's, I went to Lowe's and I used the $50. Yeah, so it was $112, I guess. But my Bitcoin deposit 4 years ago, 0.00438 Bitcoin. Because I was messing around with it. That was like the first time I ever heard where you could spend Bitcoin at a retail store 4 or 5 years ago, which was kind of unheard of. But yeah.
But you get the whole remittance thing with Strike, right? Like if you want to send pesos to Mexico, you can send dollars right now, and in a couple seconds, someone will get pesos on the other end using Bitcoin, and it's super easy to do. So Western Union, Visa, MasterCard, like if merchants can just say, here, scan the QR code or tap your Sats card, which is another thing you could do. You could load up Sats on a Sats card. If you go to CoinKite, you can go and get a Sats card and you can go spend that, so you can, there's a lot of different ways that you could spend Bitcoin. The problem is that the tax treatment of it, right? Because it's classified as a commodity and property. So, unless you're immediately replacing your Sats, before you spend and filing last in, first out, it's really hard to use as a currency, right? It's inconvenient because it doesn't have that legal tender status protection. Right. Speaking of which, Malay in Argentina just said, yeah, you can use whatever currency you want, including Bitcoin, to settle all contracts here in Argentina.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. And then Cardano, the Cardano community was like, oh, we'll be able to use Cardano. And I forgot to add that, but I didn't want to talk too much about it.
If somebody's foolish enough to take ADA, then whatever, that's what they want to use.
Same thing,
they use Tron and USDT down there all the time. So
yeah. There was something where he did something and like food prices went down like 20% too, or 15%. Something crazy. I just saw that tweet right before I went live too. There's a bunch of stuff going on that he's doing.
But that'll snowball, right? That'll snowball because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have governments are going to have to also want to acquire this is because once oil starts trading in Bitcoin, then nation states want to acquire Bitcoin. Well, what's a nation state's greatest tool to acquire Bitcoin? Taxation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be able to go to everybody's door that they suspect of owning Bitcoin and hold a gun to their head and give us your password. It's not happening. It's not realistic. So even like the tax status is going to have to move towards more of a consumption tax. Right? Mm-hmm. You buy something, you pay tax, the merchant collects the tax and is responsible for remitting it to the IRS, right? I think that's kind of the only way things would be able to kind of move forward. And then guess what? It has the added benefit of saying, okay, now that we can see directly our taxes and how much we have to think about buying this thing, not only do we have to part with Sats, but now we also see up front how the government's wasting money with how much tax they're collecting. What am I getting for that? And then people want smaller government because they don't want to pay such high taxes on consumption. So it has the byproduct of forcing government to be smaller, which of course is why you have Liz Warren and other people, being pains in the ass trying to limit this from happening.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet that about Argentina. Man, there's a bunch of stuff going on there. Where was it? It was something about food. Hope dollarization is continue. Argentina.
Well, all their prices will eventually be coming down if they're no longer required to use the bolivar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to use, if they're going to close the central bank and they're not going to issue currency, then you have to use whatever currency's on hand.
So what are they using right now?
Thing
Are
is
they using a dollar?
There's a lot of tether. Well, if you looked at the it's dollars, but there's not a lot of dollars in the country. But there is a pretty heavy. If you look at Peter McCormick's documentary, they were using Tron and Tether as a currency as well as Bitcoin. But I think naturally the easiest way to get money in the economy is using a protocol that's information, right? As opposed to going through money changers and central banks and predatory lending. You're much better off getting some remittances from overseas or selling your Argentinian wine or cows, for Bitcoin or for stable coin, and then using that'll find its way, going through the economy.
Yeah. All right, man, we're at an hour and 11 minutes right now. All right, I think I'm going to end it here.
Yeah, but now we're talking about interesting stuff.
I know. I'm tired. I've been up since 5:25 a.m., so I'm pushing it right now. But I appreciate you coming on, and we had some special guests tonight we haven't heard from in a while, which is good, and hopefully have some more people in the future coming on. I know Kensicle wants E-Gold. You can watch my video from earlier. I did talk a little bit about Multiverse X, Elrond, but now I'm pretty tired right now. But I appreciate you coming on, Obi. If you guys don't mind smashing that thumbs up button on your way out. Truly do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Just enjoy it with your family. Try not to think about crypto, Bitcoin, whatever it is. Just enjoy it because 2024, I was going to say 2023, 2024 is going to be insane. 2025, the next 2 years are going to be crazy in my opinion. So just enjoy it. Live in the moment, experiences. I think that's what it's all about. Network, make friends, and just ride this crypto journey that we have right now. But any last words, Obi?
Merry Christmas and happy holidays for those that don't celebrate Christmas, and stack sats quick because it's going to shoot up.
Not financial advice.
So this is your chance to front run the institutions because they can't actually put money into these funds right now and expect volatility, but this is your opportunity to front run the big dollars.
Definitely. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Appreciate you all tuning in. Crypto Airborne out.